Sí, vale. Perfecto.
Okay. Welcome once again to the Spanish Pavilion here at the Mobile World Congress 2022, where we're giving our co-exhibitor companies a chance to tell us a bit about their business model, about any innovations that are happening at the moment. Our next presentation is by Agile Content. The title is The TV Dilemma: How Telcos Can Benefit from TV and Media Services While Reducing Complexity and Risks. To walk us through this, we've got Gaspar Luiten here to present for Agile Content. So whenever you're ready, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Pleasure to be here. So as was said by the introduction, the title of this presentation is the TV Dilemma: How Telcos Can Benefit from TV and Media Services While Reducing Complexity and Risks. Yeah? Okay? The TV dilemma, we called it. Basically what I wanted to start off with is a brief introduction of what is going on in the telco sector and how TV is relevant. First of all, TV grows. Yeah, there's a lot of discussion about this, but when you look at the numbers, TV actually grows. Yeah? It's a combination of pay TV and OTT. Video content, everybody talks about it. There's a massive growth going on worldwide, massive investments being made. So it is a very lively and very positive business. Looking from a telco's perspective, TV equals fiber. Everybody knows by now that in order to sell fiber, TV helps. In order to grow fiber revenues, TV helps. In order to reduce churn, TV helps. Fiber equals FMC, also a common knowledge that we've been experiencing for many years in the business over the last years. Yeah? And FMC means more mobile. Typically FMC play, triple play, quadruple play, it gives the opportunity to add an additional mobile line to a household that buys an FMC package. So basically TV is fiber and mobile growth. That is the basic equation. As I said, TV grows. It's actually growing at a high pace, 72% between 2015 and 20, and expected to continue to grow. The mix between OTT and pay TV is shifting though, more towards OTT as we all know. Now it's more or less 50-50, the mix. Telcos continue to play a significant role in this business, where an estimated 60% of the market procures or purchases or manages TV services through their telco. That number is relatively stable and expected to be around 58, so slightly below 60, around 2025. Yeah? Cord cutting, there's also a lot of discussion about it. Actually TV revenues go down, cord cutting is happening and so on. That is mainly a US phenomenon. In Europe, it's a very limited number, it has a limited impact on revenues, around 15%. Yeah? We, as Agile, we provide television services, television as a service type of value proposition. We, with the value proposition that we do to the customers of telcos, or our B2B2C value proposition, we have been able to consistently grow revenues coming from television services. So that is the starting point. However, it's not all good. We all know examples of telcos that entered the television business and it was not as successful as they hoped it would be. High exposure to risk, high capex, high opex, loss-making services. So although TV continues to grow, this is largely driven by the huge capex and opex budgets, mainly capex budgets of the OTTs. How do you compete against Netflix and whatever? I think a recent example we've all read in the papers, Telefonica reconsidering their production strategy. No matter how much money you invest, competing with a 10 billion Netflix investing content production a year, that's very difficult, steep one. For telcos, TV is a sort of source of lower churn, ARPU uplift, and customer acquisition, what we said before. It really helps to drive your fiber revenues. Fiber allows you to drive FMC revenues. FMC allows you to drive additional mobile revenues. Yeah? So it's a clear uptick and a clear positive impact in the core business revenues of a telco, not just television. Yeah? However, the challenge is the high content and operating costs, as well as managing the complexity. Complexity is very specific to TV business, and it's increasing. It's increasing from a technology and from a content management point of view. So it's a big decision to go there. Yeah? Size and scale are key. Yeah? When you look at a global level, very clearly the OTTs have massive scale. Technology providers tend to have relatively high scale. Telcos in market and even on a group level have relatively low scale. Yeah, no matter how big the telco group is, compared to the players that are in the market, content providers, technology providers, OTTs, yeah, their scale is relatively small. Yeah. It's even worse from the point of view of consolidation that is going on. There's a clear consolidation at a content level, technology level, depends where you look, but there's also consolidation going on. So if the telco wants to play a more active part in participating in the scale effects, they need to partner with third parties that have consolidated part of the market. So that is the logic where we come from. The solution. So this was the TV dilemma. Do you do it? Do you don't you do it? Yeah? What is changing? What has changed, and why did that happen? So when you look at some years ago to where we are right now, big change is that cloud was in its infant shoes. Quality, pricing, etc. Well, was a starting business. Right now, high quality services, cloud services are available. TV used to be strongly capex driven. Now, because of cloud offerings, now we have business models that are clearly OPEX driven. Now, a very different impact on from a risk and from a financial point of view. Massive growth in video and entertainment businesses, services, yeah, which is a great opportunity on one hand, but puts clear capex constraints or increased capex needs on your network. So it's not only that the capex budgets have to go up. No, you need to focus them very clearly on the network in order to provide the network with the quality of service that customers expect, because of this increased video demand. Possibility to tap into existing scale through partnerships. Why do I say that? Compared to, for instance, 5 years ago, we said that, and that was in the infant shoes as well. Right now, several players, including ourselves, we have a scale that is already significant and relative, and you can tap into that and obtain part of those benefits of scale that we have obtained. Limit complexity by focusing on your own core plus export partnerships. That is becoming more and more of the trend. Depending which telecom operator you talk to, mostly the incumbents, they have still very much an in-house approach. All the tier 2, 3, 4 players, they tend to be more open and more in need of partnerships with third parties to manage part of their technology, service offerings and operations. Yeah? So that is there. From the TV services perspective, companies that do that, like ourselves, as I said, we are more mature and have more scale and more scalable as well. So the time is there. Huh? A last one I wanted to highlight. Before, television was seen as a nice to have for telcos. Yeah, there were many ways to deliver television. Today, definitely OTT and more other television or video services as well, they're intrinsically linked to broadband. Broadband is the only or the most natural way to deliver those contents. So the mix of the combination of fixed and mobile broadband with TV and video services, entertainment services, is more intrinsic than it used to be before. Okay, so what does this all mean? The TV dilemma. Typically, many telcos, they used to do a TV business case that was marginally yes, marginally no. Ongoing debate. every year, more or less, the decision was reopened. If you decided yes, it was scaled down. If you decided no, can we really afford not to do this? Ongoing debate all around the world. Yeah? Very typical. Right now, as I said, we moved on. For instance, we as Agile, we have a standard end-to-end service solution with more than 750 end users on that platform. So we have a solution that exists, is working live with a considerable amount of people on those systems. The underlying technology is more mature and bigger as well, so also scale effects there. For instance, we as Agile, we have our CDN product portfolio with supporting around 50 million households around the world. Yeah, so scale effects, solidity of the technology, operations and scalability, yeah, is bigger there. Huh? TV as a service, yeah, is cloud-based, is a fact of life now. What used to be PowerPoint or initial steps some years ago, right now is there. Yeah, so use it. Yeah. Telco partnership model, I think there's been a lot of debate and a lot of ongoing learning in the telco and the technology space about the relationship models between the telcos, technology providers, OTTs, where mainly big tech is very aggressive in building skill and wanting everything for themselves. It's basically taking over customer ownership and defining the customer experience instead of the telco. Yeah? There's been a lot of debate and a lot of testing and a lot of learning, let's call it that way, when competing against the OTTs or leveraging on them. I think by now everybody realizes that the OTT is here to stay. They have a significant market share and have a huge installed base. So most of the potential customers or existing customers of telcos, they already have an OTT service. So don't fight against them, leverage them, incorporate them, partner with them. Yeah, so that is a new understanding that is coming to age more or less now. Yeah. Value for money. Yeah, as I said before, we have been successful in consistently growing television revenues through a value for money value proposition. Basically what we do, it's not necessarily just a cheap value proposition. No, it's a value for money. It's really putting the money and the investments where there's customer value, and that tends to be cutting out part of the content that is expensive, yeah, and basically not valued. Yeah, so in the typical traditional television business cases, there's a lot of investment in reselling third-party content that is actually almost not used because people end up using the OTT service. Yeah? If you cut that out, yeah, with some other scale effects, you can have a relatively optimized economic cost structure to offer, interesting value proposition. Modular approach, same here. Instead of the telco defining what the customer wants and what they need and what they should buy, is have a modular approach that is flexible from the point of view of the customer experience and your investment, your risk and your exposure. Huh? So basically, join the club to leverage our scale and revenue growth model that we have existing already and is scalable and can incorporate other telcos to do so. How do we know this? We have, for instance, Mass Mobile. We run most of the television business of the Mass Mobile group, with maybe you know as different brands in the markets. All the commercial KPIs for the core business of a telco go up, significantly up. So whether it's selling more fiber, increasing ARPU, reducing churn, higher net adds, they all go up. So with the model that we have, we really prove that the core business of the telco improves by adding television to their value proposition. And the way the model works is we take over the complexity of managing this business. So the expertise, the specific expertise for video services and the complexity of managing this in your organization from a technical, operational, content delivery point of view, we can take that over. So basically you have the good part and you don't have the bad part of this equation. Yeah? So this is the way it looks like. It's a typical, it's a nice system, good interface. Customer experience is positive. Of course, we measure that from all kinds of points of view. So the customer data that we analyze, in-depth interviews, NPS, etc., etc. So it works, has the functionality that it needs, and constantly evolving. Yeah. Also, being a neutral system with several customers, you incorporate demands of functionality and evolve the roadmap as such. So it's not that that you have to reinvent the wheel all the time. Who are we? Just as some closing remarks. We are a medium-sized company, more than 300 employees, 25 countries, more than 50 million in revenues. As I said before, technology-wise, we own part of the technology that we use. Not everything of it is integrated. The technology pieces, they support around 50 million households. It's highly growing, etc. It's a nice story, a company that has reached a certain scale already, and a strong technology and resources behind the strategy to continue growing. Agile TV, the TV service that I mentioned, as I said, we closed the year, official number 710,000 users. We're now about 750,000 users on the platform. It's in the top 5 fastest growing platforms in Europe. So in absolute numbers, the new users adding to the system is within the top 5 fastest growing, with 43 net adds only in the fourth quarter of 21. These are official numbers. Growth for what a year to date is aligned with this, so we continue to grow. And by now, on a consolidated size, we're within the top 30 of pay TV operators in Europe, being one of the few neutral ones. So besides the big incumbent telecom operators like Telefónica, Deutsche Telekom, etc., Orange. We work with many technology, media, and telecom players. So, for instance, we work together with 17 of the top 50 telcos in the world, have been clients for many years and continue to be so. Same with the main media partners, content providers, we partner with them. And that's what I wanted to say. So basically summarizing, we have an opportunity as telcos to include television to your core portfolio of core communication services, has a positive impact for revenues on these core services. Risk that was perceived for the television business has changed considerably because of this new paradigm of where we live. Agile content is very well positioned to play that game. The service that we have already has scale, so you can participate in the scale economies that we already have. And we're set up to partner with telcos and other technology companies, but to set up with telcos in order to provide the service and make it the biggest success possible in the market. Any questions? Then I thank you very much for coming this afternoon. Enjoy Mobile World Congress and hope you have a very successful year. Thank you very much.